Hello, my name is James Thompson, and this is going to be my current event speech, which is going to be on the website Wikileaks. First, I'm going to start off with, despite the media's extensive coverage of Wikileaks, many people still do not understand what this organization is or what its intended purpose is. I'm going to start with what is Wikileaks. Wikileaks is a website similar to Wikipedia. You can go on that website and search through documents regarding any country, any issue, any time period, and you're going to find basically official classified government documents for that actual incident or activity or whatever. WikiLeaks is a non-profit organization. Everything is sponsored and paid for by donations. It is sort of like Wikipedia, however, none of the content is editable. You're not going to be able to go on there after a document is published, change it, alter it in any form. History. WikiLeaks was started in 2006 by the Sunshine News Press by claimed dissidents, mathematicians, journalists, and startup company technologists from China, Europe, Taiwan, Australia, South Africa, and the United States. This is very important to see because a lot of the people view this organization as a terrorist organization, and they feel that it's a bunch of foreigners basically just trying to show the U.S. is dirty underwear. However, that's not the case. They do have people involved in the U.S. government who are U.S. citizens, and they're basically publishing these documents for the benefit of society. The original purpose was claimed as primary interest is in exposing oppressive regimes in Asia, the former Soviet bloc, sub-Saharan Africa, and the Middle East. But, however, they intend to lend assistance to all people of all regions who wish to reveal unethical behavior in governments and corporations. With the recent embassy cables really dumped, a lot of the people view this organization basically as fighting for freedom of speech right now. A lot of governments and organizations are trying to shut down WikiLeaks, trying to cover them up, trying to get rid of Julian Assange to stop from releasing these documents. And, you know, we have access to these documents. We should be allowed to talk about them in public and whatnot. So right now, when these governments try and come down on Julian Assange, basically, they're just trying to take away people's freedom of speech. Next, I want to talk about the major information dumps of WikiLeaks. In 2006 and 2007, they were relatively small information dumps. Basically, had to do with foreign nations. One of the major ones that was released was a document regarding a Kenyan leader's order of an assassination of another government official. In 2008, documents were released that started to implicate the U.S. government in the Iraq and Afghanistan war. This is very important because this is the first time that WikiLeaks actually not attacked, but basically started going after the United States and how their policies and procedures go. They released a detailed standard operating procedures for Camp Delta and Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. These documents basically just showed human rights violations. They were showing that the detainees were not allowed to have access to their lawyers. They weren't being allowed to know what their actual charges were or how long they were going to be there. Next, they collected and published the secret Bibles of Scientology. If you're familiar with Scientology, you realize that it's a very secretive religion. They don't like to associate with outsiders, and they try and keep all the information and what their actual purpose is a secret. So this is the first time that the religious organizations started coming up against WikiLeaks as well. The next was they released unethical behaviors of the Swiss bank Julius Baer. This is very important because this is the first time a government tried to put an injunction upon WikiLeaks and trying to get them to do a cease and desist letter. However, that was unsuccessful because being that WikiLeaks is not stationed in any one country, they really can't enforce the law on them, which is still a problem today. That's why these sex allegations for Julian Assange did come up recently, because they're just trying to figure out any way to stop this organization from publishing these documents. In 2009, they continued to target corrupt government officials and illegal business activities. This detailed the Peruvian oil scandal, reported a serious nuclear accident that took place in Iran that went unreported to the entire world, and it again released more unethical documents regarding the Icelandic bank's suspicious dealings. In 2010 was a very big year for WikiLeaks. They released the collateral murder video. If you're not familiar with this video, I think it's still searchable on YouTube and whatnot. It's basically taken from a U.S. fighter jet which did a missile attack on a group of suspected insurgents. However, they weren't insurgents, they were journalists and civilians. This gave the Department of Defense a very big black eye, and this is the first time that the U.S. government really tried to shut this organization down, and they really started viewing Wikileaks as a negative organization. In June 2010, 92,000 documents were released regarding the Iraq and Afghanistan war. Then in October 2010, 400,000 documents, aka the Iraq war logs, were released. And then in November 2010, the embassy cables were released. Everything from climate change to overthrowing governments were involved in these cables. It's very interesting documents. If the website is available when you go on the internet, it's definitely worth a look. Just take a look, see actually how the governments work, how they operate from closed doors. Sometimes they actually don't operate the way you think you are, or the way they're supposed to work. So, but this WikiLeaks does get shut down occasionally because hackers go in, or from the government or whatever, just trying to shut down this organization. So they do temporarily shut down the servers. Future dumps. With this recent Julian Assange sex allegations, he's basically afraid of a government basically taking him out or trying to shut him down with any type of false allegations. So he does keep a safety net. And in this safety net is basically, if anything happens to him, he's going to release a code. This code is then going to release these documents. These documents are basically things that have to do with the Russian government. It details the in-depth Russian mafia dealings with the Russian government. It has a 5 gigabytes information on Bank of America. It has to do with the economic collapse in 2008 and the bailout. Has a video of a civilian massacre in Afghanistan by the U.S. Army. And it has the inside documents from the BP oil scandal, all the incriminating documents from BP that were internal documents Julian Assange has got his hands on. So if anything does happen to him, he's claiming that he will release these. So in conclusion, WikiLeaks has made one of the biggest impacts that any news corporation has ever made. It has changed the way governments classify and handle their secret documents. And for better or for worse, WikiLeaks has changed the world. Personally, I do believe that WikiLeaks does have a positive influence on governments and organizations, because hopefully they're getting wind that, you know, their unethical behavior, their suspicious dealings, eventually they're going to be found out. So they don't want to be caught by WikiLeaks with their pants down. So hopefully it will decrease the amount of unethical behavior going on in governments and organizations. Hopefully. So that is all I have to say about WikiLeaks, and thank you very much for listening.